Thank you for joining us for the 2025 State of the Industrial Manufacturing Industry Report. Today, we'll explore three critical areas. First, we'll discuss current challenges and opportunities facing the industry. Then we will describe how O9 helps companies address these challenges. And finally, we'll give two examples of the tangible value our clients have unlocked by adopting a digital-first approach, providing tens to hundreds of millions of dollars captured, fast time to value, and a significant return on investment. Today, industrial manufacturers are facing one of the toughest operating environments to date. As supply chain and manufacturing networks become increasingly global, disruption is the new normal. From rising labor and energy costs to global conflicts, from natural disasters to uncertainty around tariffs, supply chain professionals are managing more complexity at an increased velocity. Let's discuss 8 key challenges facing industrial manufacturers today. First, many industrial products companies have highly complex engineer-to-order or configure-to-order products made up of thousands of components, frequently undergoing engineering change orders. This configurability makes it difficult to predict which optional components they should stock and how to use up the stock of previous part revisions. Manufacturers must balance long lead time raw materials against much shorter customer delivery expectations. This complexity makes it difficult to confidently provide accurate promise dates to customers or, even better, to shape customer demand based on in-stock items. These challenges lead to inflated inventories, late deliveries, expedited freight costs, and poor customer experience. Second, many industrial manufacturers have direct B2B sales teams that manage a deal-based sales pipeline comprising of many individual sales opportunities. The sales and supply chain teams operate in silos with limited or highly manual collaboration done through spreadsheets and email. As a result, the supply chain team struggles to create and compare what-if scenarios to simulate demand's impacts on the supply chain or the potential financial outcomes of these various scenarios. Some industrial products, such as elevators, cell towers, and wind turbines, require on-site installation. In these situations, planners must coordinate project milestones, which usually include design completion, customer down payment, manufacturing, on-site material delivery, labor assignments, product installation, final inspections, and last, commissioning. Any slippage or change to the broader construction schedule can be difficult to manage effectively with spreadsheets or legacy tools. Moving on to operations, we know that complex products require complex, usually multi-tier manufacturing networks, where component plants often supply assembly plants. Manufacturers struggle to track cycle-over-cycle demand changes and the cascading impact on dependent demand in upstream manufacturing plants. Additionally, complex routings often create overloaded production plans at the work center level. Beyond capacity and material constraints, labor shortages and unavailable tooling can cause unplanned downtime. Lastly, manufacturers have difficulty coordinating thousands of parts and managing shortages, which cause production line stoppages, OEE challenges, overtime expenses, excess WIP, and missed deliveries. This leads us to the fifth challenge, which is that growing inventory levels are used to buffer against planning inefficiencies. Still, many companies lack visibility to the root causes of their inventory growth. Numerous causes include poor forecast accuracy, canceled customer orders, stale inventory targets, minimum order quantities, long lead times, or unconstrained buyer behaviors. This ties up working capital and leads to excess carrying costs and inventory write-offs. Challenge 6 is about the limited multi-tier enterprise collaboration between OEMs and their suppliers. In automotive, OEMs share weekly call-off schedules with their suppliers, but two-way collaboration on orders, commitments, or capacity is often limited or non-existent. On the other hand, suppliers struggle to analyze volatile week-over-week demand changes, which can cause extreme bullwhip effects throughout the sub-tier supplier network. Industrial product companies often lag even further behind, but still, supplier collaboration is a hugely valuable opportunity. Next, with global disruptions like the bridge collapse in Baltimore, powerful hurricanes, or political conflicts abroad, manufacturers are embracing risk monitoring solutions. They offer multi-tier supplier mapping and global risk monitoring. However, they are not able to predict the impacts of risks to their current open transactional orders, such as purchase orders, work orders, or sales orders. This makes it difficult to determine the appropriate mitigation actions to take. Lastly, we know that business models will change over time. For example, brick-and-mortar retailers had to adapt when online shopping became mainstream. Now, major auto OEMs face EV startup competitors that sell direct to consumer with online configurators and experience centers rather than traditional dealerships. Furthermore, industrial product companies have long offered telematics solutions to enable remote monitoring and predictive maintenance, but several factors still hold them back from harnessing this data to its fullest potential. Now let's talk about how O9 solves these challenges for our clients around the world. O9 brings best practice processes and technologies for industrial manufacturers to drive a major step change in their businesses by converting our clients from a tribal operating model to a digital operating model. By bringing your enterprise data from various systems, spreadsheets, and homegrown tools directly into O9's enterprise knowledge graph via flexible integration methods, companies finally have the data and technology needed to drive efficient and accurate decisions at various time horizons and granularities. First, let's talk about integrated business planning. O9 drives alignment across the organization by digitally coordinating your S&OP processes. We bring together the sales, supply chain, manufacturing, purchasing, and finance functions together on one end-to-end platform. Instead of taking multiple days each month to export data into spreadsheets, create visuals, and compile meeting decks, O9's on-platform IBP meetings allow users to view executive-level dashboards and run what-if scenarios on the fly with live data. Next, let's move on to demand planning. Demand planning can be broken down into two buckets. The first is demand generation, which can be largely automated, while the other is demand management, where cross-functional teams collaborate directly in the O9 platform to develop a consensus demand plan throughout weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annual planning cycles. For deal-based sales models, O9 integrates to your CRM system and automatically imports opportunities, highlighting cycle-over-cycle changes in the win probability. Each opportunity has an associated planning BOM with dependent component options that are driven by attach rates. The platform highlights any changes to the planning BOM to the engineering or manufacturing BOM as configurations are firmed up. Different approaches can be taken on how and when to drive material purchasing based on your unique business requirements. For businesses that collaborate with customers, either OEMs, dealers, distributors, or retailers, O9 can ingest customer data such as forecasts, point of sale data, or channel inventory to provide robust exception management and collaborative demand planning on risks and opportunities. O9 also offers best fit statistical forecasting, which leverages a robust set of forecasting algorithms and a tournamenting methodology to maximize forecast accuracy at the finished goods SKU level. Lastly, O9's driver-based machine learning forecasting uses internal and external leading indicators such as market forecasts, telematics data, or weather predictions to proactively identify upcoming changes in demand. Both of these approaches can be used to drive finished good OE forecasts or aftermarket spare part forecasts based on the organization's maturity and available data. Once you have a consensus demand plan in place, it's time to move on to supply planning. O9 offers AI-powered product segmentation paired with powerful supply chain solvers, including both LP optimization and heuristic supply chain planning engines. Outputs include a level-loaded master production schedule, purchase requirements, and distribution plans between plants, distribution centers, and your customers. Powerful what-if scenario capabilities allow you to simulate and compare multiple plans and their anticipated operational outcomes, as well as financial results in terms of revenue, gross margins, and important trade-off costs like premium freight. In addition, our multi-echelon inventory optimization solution can set time-phased optimal inventory targets across your manufacturing network, complete with inventory alerts, dashboards, and root cause analysis. The final solution I will talk about today is O9's Supplier Relationship Management Suite, which is comprised of three major components. First, supplier collaboration includes two-way collaboration on forecasts, orders, commitments, capacity, and more. Digital triage rooms allow manufacturers to collaborate directly in the O9 platform on risks and opportunities. Second, supplier performance can be managed through supplier segmentation, automatic generation of key performance indicators like on-time delivery and quality. Finally, our supply risk management solution ingests risk data to highlight potential risks around the globe, their impact on your supply chain, and prescribe mitigation strategies where needed. I'd like to share a transformation story about a leading global technology solutions provider that overcame extraordinary supply chain complexity by implementing the O9 platform. They faced 6 key challenges: over 100,000 SKUs spread across multiple business units, a configure-to-order model with 90% of combinations ordered only once, BOMs that extend up to 12 levels, lead times up to 72 weeks despite 75% of orders requesting ASAP delivery, more than 4 million active Salesforce opportunities causing inventory issues and decision delays, and a global operation of 60 contract manufacturers with limited inventory visibility. After a failed attempt with another advanced planning system, they turned to O9, where we enabled them to assess all deals above $1 million, down from their previous threshold of $5 million deals or larger in under 24 hours. This resulted in a tenfold increase in deal coverage and a 70% decrease in response times. On the demand side, they integrated deal planning and demand planning on one platform, something they'd never done before, so planners could collaborate in real time and align across teams. They also introduced ML-based deal predictability, which uses machine learning to provide accurate win-loss probabilities on deals, helping teams focus on at-risk opportunities and add real value. Another powerful example of how O9 has helped a leading Tier 1 global automotive supplier that decided to implement the O9 platform, leveraging advanced demand, supply, and IBP capabilities to streamline its processes and drive better business results across its global businesses. Let's begin with some background on just a few of the obstacles they faced. First, EDI forecast volatility was a major concern. It required significant effort to manage, and the fluctuations created ripple effects throughout the organization, impacting the bottom line. Meanwhile, capacity agreements with OEMs existed, on paper, but often got lost amid short-term and mid-term fluctuations. The inability to pass reliable information upstream led to frequent supply-side disruptions. Now let's look at how they address these challenges using O9's platform. For the short-term forecast, they turned to O9 to analyze trends and bias in the EDI signals. This approach consistently provided a more accurate forecast than the one offered by OEMs, who often undercalled demand. O9's solution also integrates additional data such as IHS market information, OEM production schedules, and dealer inventory levels. By triangulating the OEM forecast with market data, they could constructively challenge OEM projections, improving forecast accuracy and driving healthier discussions about future demand. O9's platform also empowered them to run fully constrained planning, complete with what-if scenario simulations. With this in place, the company can respond quickly to changes in OEM demand through the S&OP process. They gained a more reliable view of supply constraints, which led them to drive greater accountability with suppliers regarding supply risks. Previously, the organization would simply place orders. Now, they engage in a request and commit process, making it easier for suppliers to commit and reducing the number of refusals. Finally, using O9's IBP capabilities, the company established a cross-functional IBP process. Teams from sales, finance, engineering, and supply chain can now collaborate simultaneously, focusing on gap closure and proactive planning. This integrated approach also extends beyond their own operations. Key customers and suppliers are included in the process, allowing for data-driven scenario planning that benefits the entire value chain. By deploying O9's advanced demand, supply, and IBP solutions, this Tier 1 global automotive supplier achieves significant business value, including 30% reduction in premium freight costs, 6% improvement in inventory turns, 88% adoption rate across the organization, and a 6 to 15-point improvement in forecast accuracy compared to EDI. Thank you for listening today. I hope you learned about the digital transformation potential for your manufacturing company. We invite you to find us online and reach out to learn how O9 can support you in integrated business planning and enterprise decision-making as your strategic partner.